Whether you're sipping your morning brew or catching up later, we've got your industry insights covered. Welcome to Auto Intelligence, produced by Auto Agentic AI. I'm Steve, and I'm here with Claire, both part of the Auto Agentic team. New episodes drop every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and today we're tackling something that's reshaping the entire industry landscape.
That's right, Steve. We're witnessing the most dramatic transformation in automotive history. What started as a simple electric vehicle versus internal combustion engine debate, that's ICE, your traditional gasoline and diesel engines, has evolved into something far more complex. We're looking at a multi-technology ecosystem where battery electric vehicles, hybrids, hydrogen, and advanced combustion engines are all competing for market share.
And the numbers tell a fascinating story. BYD just came within 24,000 units of Tesla's global leadership position. We're talking about a gap so narrow it could shift with a single quarterly report.
Tesla sold 1.789 million battery electric vehicles, that's BEVs, your fully electric cars, globally. But here's what's particularly interesting about BYD's approach. They're not putting all their eggs in the pure electric basket. They sold 1.765 million BEVs while simultaneously dominating in plug-in hybrids with 2.485 million units, representing a 73% jump year over year.
So we're not just looking at an EV race anymore. This is about understanding consumer behavior, regional preferences, and the reality that different technologies serve different needs. China's new energy vehicle market, which includes everything from pure electrics to plug-in hybrids, reached 47.9% of all new car sales in 2024. That's nearly 1 in 2 vehicles sold.
Let's dig into what's driving these seismic shifts, starting with the electric vehicle surge that's redefining global competition.
Claire, when we talk about the EV landscape, the Tesla-BYD rivalry gets most of the attention. But there's a broader story here about how different companies are approaching electrification.
Absolutely. What sets BYD apart is their vertical integration strategy. They control their entire supply chain, from lithium iron phosphate battery chemistry to final assembly, which gives them substantial cost advantages and supply chain resilience. It's like owning the entire production line from raw materials to finished product.
And that's showing up in their numbers. Beyond their 1.765 million BEVs, BYD's plug-in hybrid electric vehicle segment, PHEVs, which combine electric motors with traditional engines for flexibility, surged 73% to 2.485 million units. This dual strategy gives them considerable market flexibility.
What's particularly noteworthy is that BYD's PHEV sales actually represent 58.5% of their total volume. They're not just hedging their bets, they're actively serving consumers who want electric capability without range anxiety. Meanwhile, other Chinese manufacturers are following suit. Geely's trajectory has been particularly impressive, 58% growth to 832,568 units. Plus, they achieved 240 billion RMB in revenue, with a 240% profit jump to 16.8 billion RMB.
These aren't just volume plays, these are profitable, sustainable businesses. Meanwhile, Tesla's facing some headwinds, particularly in their home market. Tesla's U.S. sales tell a more complex story. Model 3 sales dropped 17.4%, Model Y fell 6.6%, and Model S declined 31.2%. This shows that even market leaders aren't immune to increased competition.
European premium brands are finding their footing too. BMW's battery electric vehicle sales grew 11.6% to 368,475 units, representing 17.4% of their total deliveries. That's solid progress in a complex, fragmented European market where each country has different incentive structures and charging infrastructure.
The technology race is equally fascinating. Solid-state batteries, think of them as the next generation of battery technology, are transitioning from laboratory experiments to actual production timelines. Toyota's targeting 2027 for sulfide-based electrolytes, promising 15-minute charging and potentially 30-year lifespans.
The potential range improvements are quite significant. We're talking about potential 600-mile ranges compared to today's 250 to 300 miles. But the cost challenge remains substantial, with solid-state variants running 3 to 4 times higher than current lithium-ion at $400 to $500 per kilowatt-hour. That's compared to lithium-ion costs that have dropped to around $112 per kilowatt-hour.
The affordability race is heating up too, with major manufacturers including Toyota, Volkswagen, Honda, and Tesla all developing sub-$25,000 electric vehicles. This could be the tipping point for mass adoption, especially in price-sensitive markets.
Steve, one of the most surprising developments has been the resurgence of hybrid technology. For a while, it seemed like hybrids were just a stepping stone to full electrification.
The hybrid market is demonstrating unexpected staying power. While early projections suggested 30% compound annual growth rates, that's CAGR, essentially the average year-over-year growth, the latest data shows a more sustainable but still robust 15% CAGR, with unit sales projected to grow from 12.4 million to 28.5 million vehicles by 2030.
What's driving this growth is regulatory pressure in Europe and China, combined with consumer demand for flexibility. The European Union's carbon dioxide reduction targets and China's policies favouring plug-in hybrid electric vehicles are creating favourable market conditions. The hybrid market's value is projected to reach $457.27 billion by 2030 at an 11.7% CAGR, though unit growth outpaces revenue due to pricing pressures.
And the technology itself keeps getting more sophisticated. Hyundai's dual-motor hybrid system illustrates this evolution perfectly. They're combining a 2.5-liter turbocharged engine with an overexpansion cycle to achieve thermal efficiencies exceeding 40%. That's approaching the theoretical limits of internal combustion efficiency.
The flexibility is remarkable. Outputs ranging from low 100 horsepower for subcompacts to mid 300 horsepower for larger vehicles, all using the same basic architecture. The P1 motor handles starting and battery generation, while the P2 driving motor manages propulsion and regenerative braking.
The most intriguing development might be hydrogen battery hybrids, which combine fuel cells with battery storage. This addresses the limitations of standalone hydrogen or battery systems, particularly for heavy-duty applications where weight and refueling time are critical factors. You're listening to Auto Intelligence, brought to you by Auto Agentic,
the platform transforming automotive retail with intelligent, human-centered AI.
Now back to today's topic.
Speaking of hydrogen, Steve, this technology always seems to be 5 years away from mainstream adoption. Where do we actually stand?
Toyota's commitment to hydrogen runs deep, over 30 years of research culminating in the second-generation Mirai with 400-mile range and advanced safety features. They're not just developing passenger cars, they're testing heavy-duty hydrogen trucks in Europe and expanding into commercial applications.
Hyundai's Nexo SUV has proven that hydrogen can work in consumer applications, but the infrastructure challenges remain formidable. The infrastructure picture tells the whole story. 73 of 86 US hydrogen stations operate in California, serving about 17,000 vehicles. Meanwhile, Japan and South Korea host 62% of global hydrogen infrastructure.
Where hydrogen really shines is in heavy-duty applications. 3 to 5 minute refueling, cold weather performance down to minus 30 degrees Celsius, and no weight penalties for long-range capability. For logistics companies running trucks 24/7, that rapid refueling advantage is compelling.
But the costs remain challenging. Fuel cell electric vehicles, FCEVs, which run on hydrogen, still cost $400 to $500 per kilowatt hour, notably higher than batteries. However, the rapid refueling and range advantages make them viable for specific commercial applications where downtime is expensive.
The production side is evolving too. Most hydrogen today is gray hydrogen produced from fossil fuels, which negates many environmental benefits. The transition to green hydrogen produced using renewable energy is essential but still expensive and not widely scaled. Claire, let's talk about the AI angle here. How is artificial intelligence reshaping these powertrain decisions?
Artificial intelligence is becoming the behind-the-scenes game changer across all powertrains. In EVs, AI optimizes battery management, predicts charging needs, and manages thermal systems to extend battery life. For hybrids, AI determines the optimal split between electric and combustion power in real time based on driving conditions, traffic patterns, and energy costs.
Tesla really pioneered the software-first approach to vehicles, but now we're seeing Chinese manufacturers like BYD and Geely integrating AI-driven features that rival or exceed Tesla's capabilities, often at lower price points. It's not just about the hardware anymore. It's about the intelligence that manages it.
This technological convergence is picking up pace. 40% of European mileage could involve autonomous vehicles by 2030, and these systems particularly favour electric powertrains due to their precise control characteristics and predictable power delivery. Autonomous systems need that millisecond-level control that electric motors provide.
AI is also revolutionizing manufacturing and supply chain management. BYD's vertical integration success partly stems from AI-optimized production planning and quality control systems. They can predict component needs, optimize factory scheduling, and maintain quality standards across their entire supply chain.
And here's where it gets really interesting. AI is enabling vehicle-to-grid integration, where cars become mobile energy storage units. During peak demand, your EV could sell power back to the grid. During off-peak hours, it charges at lower rates. This creates entirely new business models around energy management. Steve, looking at the global picture, we're seeing very different adoption patterns across regions. China's leading with that 47.9% NEV penetration. But what about other major markets?
Europe presents a complex mosaic. BMW's 11.6% BEV growth to 368,475 units shows steady progress, but it also highlights how challenging it is to scale across diverse European markets with different incentive structures, charging networks, and consumer preferences.
Volkswagen's struggles with software integration and increasing price pressure from Chinese imports illustrate the challenges facing traditional European manufacturers. They're caught between legacy ICE investments and the need to rapidly scale EV production while competing with vertically integrated Chinese companies.
The smart money seems to be on portfolio diversification. Companies are hedging their bets across multiple technologies rather than going all in on a single solution. Even Tesla is exploring different battery chemistries and considering more affordable models.
The casualties are real too. GAC's joint venture struggles, with GAC Toyota sales falling 22.32%, show how quickly market dynamics can shift. Traditional joint venture models that worked for ICE vehicles don't necessarily translate to the EV era.
In North America, the picture is different again. The US market has been slower to adopt EVs compared to China and parts of Europe, partly due to vast distances, preference for larger vehicles, and more fragmented charging infrastructure. This is where hybrids and PHEVs are finding particularly fertile ground.
Range-extended electric vehicles, REEVs, represent another interesting evolution. These use small ICE engines purely as generators, not for propulsion. The Gemini 1.0-litre two-cylinder REEV, for example, weighs just 91 kilograms and can run on methanol blends and gasoline, providing flexibility while maintaining electric drive.
As we look toward 2030, Claire, what does this multi-technology landscape actually mean for consumers and the industry?
The projections suggest 55% of new car sales could be electrified by 2030, but that includes everything from mild hybrids to pure EVs. The key insight is that this won't be a winner-take-all scenario. We're moving towards specialization based on use cases.
Exactly. Urban mobility will likely favor BEVs with 250 to 400 kilometer range and vehicle-to-grid integration. Long-haul logistics will prefer hydrogen FCEVs with 800-plus kilometer range and rapid refueling. Emerging markets will continue relying on ICE and hybrids for fuel flexibility and lower infrastructure requirements.
Supply chain localization is becoming critical. BYD's control over lithium iron phosphate production contrasts sharply with Western reliance on nickel-rich chemistries, creating significant cost disparities. This is driving automakers to invest directly in mining operations and form joint ventures for battery production.
The industrial demand for clean energy could add over 57 gigawatts by 2030, creating positive feedback loops that accelerate the overall energy transition. The clean tech manufacturing sector, AI applications, and carbon management industries are all driving this demand.
Advanced manufacturing is also changing the game. Cummins has shown that ICE efficiency improvements remain viable, with idle reduction technologies providing up to 17% fuel economy savings. Meanwhile, companies like Avadi Engines are developing revolutionary rotary piston engines that use half the parts of conventional ICE engines while offering superior power-to-weight ratios.
The convergence of electrification and automation creates synergistic effects too. Autonomous vehicles particularly benefit from electric powertrains due to precise control characteristics and reduced maintenance requirements. This will likely accelerate adoption of shared mobility services, fundamentally changing vehicle ownership patterns.
Steve, if there's one key takeaway from today's discussion, it's that the automotive future isn't about a single winning technology. It's about the right technology for the right application.
Absolutely. BYD's dual BV PHEV strategy, Toyota's hydrogen commitment, Tesla's software-first approach, and the hybrid resurgence all point to a future where multiple technologies coexist and serve different market needs.
Success will come from matching technology to market reality, understanding that urban Chinese consumers have different needs than rural American drivers or European fleet operators. The companies that master this complexity will define the next decade of mobility.
The convergence of AI, electrification, and autonomous systems is creating opportunities we're only beginning to understand. The companies that master this integration, combining hardware innovation with software intelligence, will define the next decade of mobility.
And this brings us full circle to why platforms like Autoagentic are so crucial in this transformation. Just as the automotive industry is navigating multiple powertrain technologies, automotive retail is grappling with how to effectively sell, service, and support this diverse technology landscape.
That's exactly right. Autoagentic AI is pioneering the intelligent, adaptive solutions that help dealerships navigate this complexity. Whether a customer is interested in a battery electric vehicle, a plug-in hybrid, or even hydrogen technology, dealerships need AI-driven tools that can optimize inventory management and customer education across all these different powertrains.
What sets Autoagentic apart is our human-centered, consultative approach. We're not just delivering automation, we're providing strategic thinking and collaborative planning that helps dealerships understand which technologies will work best for their specific markets and customer bases. Our platform features over 90 modular agents that can adapt to whether you're selling urban-focused BEVs or rural market hybrids.
And just like the automotive industry's multi-technology future, Autoagentic is LLM agnostic and deeply trained on the nuances of this evolving landscape. We partner closely with OEMs and dealer groups to ensure AI implementation is practical, effective, and aligned with real-world goals. Whether that's explaining solid-state battery technology to customers or optimizing inventory for the hybrid resurgence we discussed today.
Because true agentic AI isn't just about automation, it's about understanding that a customer interested in a 600-mile range solid-state battery vehicle has different needs than someone considering a plug-in hybrid for their daily commute. It's about strategic thinking that matches the right technology to the right customer, just like the industry is matching the right powertrain to the right application.
That's why we're known as the most human AI company in automotive retail. We don't just deliver tech, we deliver trusted guidance that helps dealerships thrive in this multi-path future of mobility.
This has been Auto Intelligence. I'm Claire.
And I'm Steve. This episode was produced by Autoagentic AI, the platform transforming automotive retail with intelligent, human-centered solutions. Learn more at autoagentic.ai.